If you're not familiar with SLS 3D printing, I would encourage you to check out some of our other content explaining it because it is definitely one of the most capable machines out there. It's making tons and tons of parts. We're talking hundreds of parts. It's doing it in less than a day in most cases, and you don't have to worry about any supports, and it has one of the best surface finishes out there of any 3D printing approach. And that surface finish got even better this year with the release of polishing for the Formlabs blasting cabinet. Sandblasting isn't 100% necessary for SLS, but it is highly recommended to speed up your post-processing. And fortunately, Formlabs offers a fully automated solution that they call the Blast. And it's another piece of hardware that came out last year, but received a major update in 2024. It originally just ran off of standard blasting media, which uses an abrasive process that cleans up the surface of your parts and removes any excess powder. The Blast has an automated tumbler, so it evenly distributes the media across the parts as they're being sprayed, and it really helps to get into every nook and cranny, which provides a huge time savings. This year, though, Formlabs released a polishing add-on kit, and unlike the abrasive blasting media, polishing works by compacting the surface of a part and smoothing it to an almost gloss finish. Switching over to the polish is a quick and painless process that takes about 15 minutes. You start by installing the polishing module, switching the blast nozzle out, replacing the media with polishing powder, and then you just fill up the water tank, mix a small amount of polishing agent in, and you're ready to start producing parts that almost look injection molded. The polish has really opened SLS up to a lot more applications as an end-use product because it's very difficult to tell that these things are 3D printed. And the Blast isn't the only piece of SLS equipment that got an update this year, because the Sift got one as well. For anyone who's unfamiliar, the Sift is where you separate your parts from unfused plastic powder in SLS, and the Sift recaptures that powder so you can actually recycle it for future prints, and it brings the cost of the process way down. It's always been a pretty safe process with the Sift because it has this huge filter at the back that pulls a negative pressure in the chamber, so you almost have to try to get any powder to fall out of it. But Formlabs recognized that some companies have a much higher safety requirement, so they introduced the optional glove box attachment this year to fully enclose the sifting chamber. It's a relatively minor update, especially compared to some of the other things we're talking about today, but I'm looking forward to it because it should make SLS even more accessible as a low volume production machine.